Toronto be one defensive upgrade away from finally breaking their playoff curse? That's the tantalizing possibility behind a proposed trade that would see the Maple Leafs acquire underrated away defenseman Vince Dunn from Seattle, a move that might just provide the missing piece their blue line has been desperately seeking for years. Let's be completely honest about Toronto's current situation. Their defense is solid, but not spectacular. They've assembled a respectable group with Reilly, McCabe, Tanev, Carlo, Larson, and Benoit. But when playoff hockey arrives and every shift matters, having that elite top-four presence can make the difference between another early exit and a deep postseason run. Vince Dunn represents exactly the kind of player championship teams covet, but casual fans often overlook. He's not flashy, he doesn't generate highlight reel hits, but he consistently eats minutes, contributes offensively, and provides the kind of steady-to-way play that becomes invaluable when the games matter most. His 39 points last season with Seattle might seem modest, but context matters. He was doing it on a team with significantly less offensive firepower than what Toronto can offer. The proposed trade sending Oliver Ekman-Larsson, prospect Ben Danford, and a 2026 third-round pick to Seattle for Dunn is the kind of move that makes sense for both organizations at their respective stages. Toronto gets an immediate upgrade for their playoff push, while Seattle adds depth and future assets for their longer-term building process. What makes Dunn particularly attractive for Toronto is his proven ability to handle heavy minutes in all situations. This isn't a player who needs to be sheltered or limited to specific roles. He can play power play, penalty kill, and handle tough matchups throughout the game. That versatility is exactly what championship teams need when injuries inevitably hit during playoff runs. The offensive upside is significant too. Dunn's 64-point season in 2022-23 wasn't a fluke. It demonstrated what he's capable of when given proper support and opportunity. Imagine what those numbers could look like playing alongside Toronto's elite forwards, getting assists from feeding pucks to Austin Matthews, William Nylander, and the rest of their skilled group. From Seattle's perspective, this trade acknowledges their current reality while positioning them for future success. They're not realistically competing for championships in the immediate future, so trading a veteran asset like Dunn for younger pieces and prospects makes perfect sense. Ekman-Larsson provides short-term stability, while Danford represents potential, long-term value. The salary cap implications work beautifully for Toronto as well. Dunn's contract is extremely reasonable for his production level, and moving Ekman-Larsson's deal helps balance the books. This isn't one of those trades that requires complex financial gymnastics or forces other difficult roster decisions. It's clean, straightforward, and immediately improves their competitive position. What's particularly appealing about acquiring Dunn is how he fits Toronto's playing style. He's not a one-dimensional offensive specialist who becomes a liability defensively, nor is he a pure stay-at-home defender who offers nothing going forward. He's that perfect modern NHL defenseman who can contribute in all phases while playing significant minutes reliably. The timing feels right for this type of move too. Toronto's championship window with their current core is finite, and they need to maximize every opportunity while Matthews, Marner, and Nylander are in their prime. Adding proven playoff caliber depth now makes more sense than hoping prospects develop quickly enough to contribute meaningfully. Dunn's experience with different systems and teams also brings value that's harder to quantify. He's played for St. Louis and Seattle, experiencing different coaching philosophies and team structures. That adaptability suggests he could seamlessly integrate into Toronto's system without requiring extensive adjustment periods. The loss of Van Danford hurts from a prospect development standpoint, but championship contending teams often need to sacrifice future potential for present-day improvements. Danford is promising, but he's also years away from potentially contributing at the NHL level. Toronto can't wait for maybes when they have legitimate championship aspiration right now. This trade also addresses depth concerns that could become critical during playoff runs. Injuries happen, players struggle, and having reliable options throughout your lineup becomes essential. Dunn provides insurance against these inevitable challenges, while also raising the overall talent level of Toronto's defense corps. The psychological impact shouldn't be underestimated either. Adding a player of Dunn's caliber sends a message to the locker room that management is serious about winning now. It shows they're willing to make moves to improve the team, rather than hoping internal development solves their problems. From a pure hockey analytics perspective, Dunn's underlying Numbers support the idea that he's been somewhat unlucky with his recent point totals. His shot generation, possession metrics, and defensive zone exits all suggest there's more offensive production available. If he's placed in the right situations with better teammates, the playoff implications are perhaps most important of all. Toronto has consistently struggled in postseason play, often due to defensive breakdowns and inability to match their opponent's intensity. Adding someone with Dunn's playoff experience and two-way reliability could help address both concerns simultaneously. Seattle's rebuilding timeline also makes this trade mutually beneficial. They're now competing for championships in the near future, so maximizing the return on veteran assets like Dunn makes organizational sense. Getting back a first-round prospect in Danford, even if he needs development time, represents exactly the kind of asset rebuilding teams should target. This isn't a blockbuster trade that will dominate headlines, but it's exactly the kind of smart, targeted move that championship teams make. It addresses a specific need without sacrificing long-term flexibility or creating new problems elsewhere on the roster. The beauty of this potential deal is its simplicity. Both teams get what they need without complex machinations or risky gambles. Toronto gets proven defensive depth and offensive upside. Seattle gets future assets and immediate roster depth. Sometimes the best trades are the most straightforward ones. What do you think about this potential Dunn trade? Would adding his two-way ability and offensive upside be enough to push Toronto over the playoff hump? Let me know in the comments if you make this deal. And don't forget to like and subscribe if you want more analysis of moves that could finally get the Leafs to their championship goal.